Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Coffee with Katie. Today's video is going to be my January 2022 TBR. I'm currently filming this on New Year's Eve and 2022 is very close and it's crazy. Okay, so this is going to be all the books that I am planning on reading in January. The first one I'm planning on reading is one that has been on my TBR, but I wasn't able to get to it. And I promised one of you that if I didn't get to it by the end of 2021, it would be the first thing I read in 2022, and that is The Prison Healer by Lynnette Noni. This is a book I've really wanted to read. I thought it was going to be really good. You guys have said I would love it. A lot of people have said it's great, and I really need to read it, and I just haven't yet. So this is number one priority, January 1st, 2022. This is it. So I am planning on reading this first in January. And also why I have this one out, I want to introduce you guys to an idea I'm going to introduce into my TBRs. Something I'm planning on doing is trying to incorporate more of my bookish box or like fairy loot books into the mix of my TBRs, because I feel like right now I have a really bad habit of having my sprayed edges shelves where I have them all up here and they're beautiful and I love them and I admire them, but sometimes I then kind of put them out of sight, out of mind. And I think like, I'm so glad I have these editions of these books, but then I don't pick them up for whatever reason, whether I'm trying to preserve them or I'm just picking other things over it. And I want to get into the habit of reading more of those books, especially because I may read some and fall in love with them. And I may read others and think, this really wasn't for me, and be able to, sell that or get rid of that to somebody else who might want it. And I don't need to keep it just because it's pretty, even though I want to. So a goal of mine for 2022 is every month I want to pick one of these books to read. And some of these, again, are from bookish box, whether that's like Illumicrate, Owlcrate, Fairy Loot. Some of them are special edition books that I personally bought, like The Devil in the Dark Water with this really pretty sprayed edges, etc. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to read one of them a month, or try to. Kind of the plan that I devised was I wrote all of these books down and I put them on these little pieces of paper and I put them in this mug. This is my Bounty Hunter Boba Fett mug, which is just great and perfect timing for the book of Boba Fett. And basically I just have them all on these little strips of paper. And every month I'm going to draw one of these in tandem with my TBR videos to see which of these special edition books I'm going to be incorporating in that month's TBR. So let me know your thoughts on that, if you think it's a good idea, if you think it's a bad idea. I would just love to know what you think about that. But that is what I'm going to be planning on doing. And to kind of kick it off, obviously I didn't draw this, but to kind of kick it off, I did pick The Prison Healer for this month as one of my Fairy Loot, special edition books to start incorporating. So I'm hoping that will kind of add something to my TBRs and help me get through some of these backlists of books. It's also been mentioned that maybe Legend should help me pick which book. So maybe I pick 2 slips of paper and then Legend helps me pick which one I read. Let me know what you think about that, or if you think that should be a totally separate idea, video, whatever. Legend is my dog, if you don't know, and I would like to incorporate him in the channel sometimes. So yeah, this is the first book. So this is about basically the synopsis, the very vague and horrible synopsis that I can spew out for you at the moment off of memory from just being a while since I've heard about it, is that there is a girl, she's working in the prison as a prison healer, and she starts to take care of this queen, I believe, rebel queen, and she gets a note that says, "Don't let her die, we are coming." And the queen has to enter in this competition of trials as her punishment for being imprisoned, and there are a lot of elemental magic trials, and the main character takes her place in these trials. All I know about it. It sounds great. It sounds like something that's going to be absolutely amazing, and I just haven't gotten to it yet, so priority number one, I must get to this. Another one I'm kind of dying to get to, which is so surprising to me, is A Rogue of One's Own by E.B. Dunmore. This is the second book in the League of Extraordinary Women series. Historical romance, again, not really my thing, but I really liked the first one, and I really want to read the whole series now. And I think it's just kind of like a light, fluffy read in winter, and that's kind of been calling to me a lot. So I'm hoping that I will be able to pick this up and enjoy it and kind of fly through it and just have a good time on a cold winter day. How this series goes is each of the 4 books, because there is a 4th one coming out in 2022, they follow each of the 4 friends. This book is following Lady Lucy and the rogue Tristan. That's kind of all I know about it. That's all I really want to know about it. I've gone into most of these blind and bought them blind and just kind of want to go into it like that because they're just fun little things that I can get into. So hoping I can get to this one quickly in January as well. The next one I would love to get to, especially with like the winter ambiance, is Midnight in Everwood by M.A. Kuzner. This is a Nutcracker retelling in a dark, wintry, fairy tale-esque type of story. I don't know much about it, except that it's a Nutcracker retelling. From what I've heard of people talking about this, just saying their thoughts of how much they liked it or just descriptive words of this book, it sounds like something I'm really going to love. And I'm not going to give you this whole synopsis, but basically this last part of the synopsis says, as the clock chimes midnight, Marietta finds herself transported from her family's ballroom to a frozen sugar palace, silent with secrets in a forest of snow-topped fir trees. She must find a way to return home before she's trapped in Everwood's enchanting grip forever. In the darkness of night, magic awaits, and you will never forget what you find there. This just sounds wonderful, and I hope that I really love it. This is the beautiful Waterstones edition that John got for me for Christmas, so I really want to get to this in the wintry months. This may be a little bit ambitious of a TBR, but I'm also hoping to get to Master of Sorrows by Justin T. Call. This is a villain origin story, and that's kind of all I know about it. I know A Frolic Through Fiction talked about this book and really loved this book, and that's actually what put this on my radar. And kind of the caption on the back says, "Every Dark Lord has an origin." That's literally all I know about it, and it just sounds great. Because if you go through and you read the synopsis, it all sounds kind of vague and kind of confusing. But the fact that it's a Dark Lord origin story, I am here for that. And it just sounds so good. And I've heard really good things about it, so I would love to get to this soon. I can listen to this on one of my audiobook apps, so I will probably do that in between reading all this other stuff. Another one that I'm hoping to get to, if I can, because it's on the shorter side, is Music of the Night by Angela J. Ford. This is a gothic romance Phantom of the Opera retelling. I got this as a Christmas present because I asked for it because I heard it was a gothic fairy tale Phantom of the Opera retelling, and that's all I needed to know because I really am intrigued by Phantom of the Opera retellings, and it's a pretty short book, so I'm hoping that I can get to this soon. So I'm hoping I can just like throw that in there and tack it on sometime in January. And it's a Phantom of the Opera retelling, so I feel like that tells you most of what you need to know, but on the back, the tiny little blurb says, "A haunted tower, a mysterious instructor, and the lure of the music of the night." So excited about this. Now this one I'm very, 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 very excited about. I wanted to read it as soon as I got it, so hopefully I can read it in January. And that is All of Us Villains by Amanda Foody. This is pitched as a like morally gray, all villains Hunger Games. Excuse me? It just sounds so good. Basically, there's these 7 families, they pick a champion, and on the blood moon, they compete to the death. And they compete to the death for this wellspring of magic that one of them will be able to control. And it just sounds so good. It just sounds so good. And I've heard a little bit of inklings of people reading this and loving it recently, but I'm not sure how many people have read it. And I really want to get to this. It just sounds like something that is 100% up my alley. I'm so pumped. Just this little tiny little blurb here says, "The blood moon rises, the blood veil falls, the tournament begins." And it just sounds so interesting. I'm really excited about this, as you can tell, and hope I can get to this in January as well. Also, for those of you that don't know, it's got this little gold foiling on the front of these steepled hands that are on the front of the cover, and gold foiling on the spine. All right, everyone, well, that is all the books that I am planning on reading in January. I would love to know the books that you want to read in January, if some of these are on your TBR or not. If you've read any of these books, I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Stay safe and caffeinated. Bye.